Finally, it is here. Game week for the Wisconsin Badgers as the season opener is coming up this Saturday, a 2:30 kick at Camp Randall Stadium against the Buffalo Bulls out of the Mid-American Conference. Safe to say there has been more conversation these past several months about Wisconsin football than what we have seen and heard in a long, long time. A lot of anticipation, a lot of curiosity. Finally, the games are about to begin. We'll sit down with the Badgers head coach, get his thoughts on how training camp went and how the team is shaping up now compared to those early days of spring ball. And we also sit down with quarterback Tanner Mordecai. All of that and more on today's edition of the Badgers Sports Report.
One of our mottos is iron sharpens iron. And I think that our room is a perfect example of that. We have so many guys who are in there that can make plays, and when those guys make plays, it makes you want to make plays too.
Every single one of us can make plays. So it's a real cool atmosphere having guys. I catch a ball, Chim catches a ball, CJ catches a ball, and someone can just sub right in, and we can do the same thing over and over and over again. Having depth at RSU is so important.
Let's go, man. Hey, you done on three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
The end around, Chimere DK to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Wisconsin! Pass pops out of the air, it's picked off by Muma Jameta. He's gone, Braylon Allen all the way, touchdown Wisconsin! And it's picked off by Hunter Waller. There is a big, big win for the Wisconsin Badgers.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, treating the Badgers, treating you. And is brought to you by the Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors, buildingwisconsintogether.com. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
After a serious accident, you'll need a team to fight for the results you deserve. We're here for you whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
I've always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. Now that's just a footnote in my journey, a small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
These are operating engineers. They operate top-of-the-line innovative machines and build stuff that matters. And operating engineers are well paid. They even get paid to train. As an apprentice, you can make $56,000 a year from day one. During training, no school loans and no debt. When your training is complete, you'll have a stable career job that is high skill, high tech, and high pay. We need operating engineers right now. Your future can begin today.
After a serious accident, you'll need a team to fight for the results you deserve. We're here for you whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
It's something like I've never experienced before. I've never went off the grid for fall camp. We're in the dorms, as you know. It's a total different feel, but I think it's helping with the camaraderie.
Food here is fantastic. Definitely surprised I'm gaining weight during fall camp. Definitely gained like 5 pounds.
We got a level of similarity. We're talking about we're staying in the same place, eating in the same place, doing everything in a certain regimen. And then we also got a lot of bonding experiences. When you're stuck in a campus and all together all the time, there's only way is you can be together.
Well, some networks call it talking season, and the good news, probably the great news for the head coach and the players, talking season is winding down and the games will actually begin as Wisconsin will open up on Saturday, 2:30 kick at Camp Randall against Buffalo. We'll get to the Bulls in due time, but as we welcome in the Badgers head coach, let's, I guess, first off, for folks in various parts of the state, Luke, who are watching and hearing from you for the first time in a while, get a camp recap the first week in Platteville. We've heard that the players gave Platteville rave reviews. It got done what you wanted to get done, though, right?
Oh, it did. It did. In a lot of different ways. Obviously, get away, I think, is a big deal. Just kind of be on our own, kind of limit distractions and things like that. There's no place to go. So you spend a lot more time together. The convenience of everything kind of being right there. I think all those things included in for us as coaches, I think it was a big deal for us to be able to get away as well, because we haven't spent as much time together, being a new group. There's a lot of guys that have been with us, but a new group together, I think, was important for us to get away as well.
When did you start doing that at Cincinnati?
Well, it was historically they've always done it. I think at Cincinnati for even 15, 20 years before I got there. I think, maybe extended it a little bit and staying longer and longer and longer because we just felt like it was something that was an advantage to us. So we eventually, stayed maybe upwards of 20 days, 21 days. We could only stay 7 this past year in Platteville, but I know even as we left, the guys were asking, hey, Coach, what do you think that we could stay here for a little bit longer, another week? And had we been able to, there's definitely we would have.
So something that maybe in a perfect world next year 1 week becomes 2, but I guess you'll cross that bridge, right?
Yeah, at least maybe, finding a way, maybe it can make it 10 days of some sorts and continue to grow. But, obviously we got to work with whatever we've got.
Let's give it a recap from your perspective, Coach, of where this team, as I say, camp breaks, but you need it. Everything you keep going here, you're getting ready for game 1, but where you see this group of guys now compared to the group in the early days of spring ball?
Well, I think we all have a good grasp of each other. I think that's important for me as well, right? I mean, obviously defensively, Coach Tressel and a lot of us have been together, but even with Coach Longo and a little bit of a new system, it was important for me to be able to give them some freedoms to do what it is that they do and not, kind of handcuff them as they grew what they were doing. So I think as a staff, we're a lot further along, obviously, than we were when we started or even spring football. And in the comfort level to what we're doing on a daily basis, how we expect practice to be. So then you starts there, right? I mean, if we don't have the comfort level, it's hard for the players to feel that comfort level as well. And I feel like they are in a really good place. I mean, when we started fall camp, because of spring, I think they understood, just practice-wise, the things and the tempo and the pace at which we wanted to go, that it wasn't the emphasis. The emphasis became a lot more about the actual game, about the actual, schemes and plays and the ability to play, and that's what we had to do. I thought spring ball was so much about understanding the expectations of how you practice, that maybe we lost a little bit of sight and didn't get to spend as much time in the actual play. And that's where it was nice in fall camp, and you feel a lot better about where we are, what guys understand what we're doing, and much more why we're doing it.
I want to pick off a couple of position groups here, and oddly enough, we'll start at quarterback. But you recently had, I thought, a really interesting comment about Tanner Mordecai, the veteran guy coming in from SMU, prolific numbers the last 2 years. But he's the vet, and how you want these younger guys to obviously compete with them every day, but watch and learn as well, right?
I don't think there's any better way, especially at that position, to truly grow and learn. We as coaches can explain it to them all the time. We can give them examples. We can try to make references. But when a guy can actually see it done, I think it is incredible for the growth and the leadership within those rooms. And Tanner's done a great job for us as a team, but I think he's done a great job in that room at making sure guys understand what the expectation, what it's like to be a pro as a quarterback, because there's no greater expectation anywhere on the team than how those guys handle things in that room in particular. So he's done a phenomenal job, but I think he's done an even better job at just making sure everybody, especially in that room, understands what it's supposed to look like.
He's got a very promising group of receivers. If it's Tanner, whoever the quarterback may be at a given moment. Chimere DK is the established one, though, right? But you got C.J. Williams, you got Will Pauling, Bryson Green. I could keep going. I think you've mentioned that Chim is still the guy that they all kind of look to, don't they?
Yeah, that's great for all of us because he's been here. I mean, it means, not that it doesn't mean as much to everybody, but there's something about a guy that's in his 5th year, something about a guy that, really kind of talks about unfinished business and his ability to come back. And I think that nobody has raised their level from what I've seen as much as he has. And I just mean that by adding the competition within that room, those personalities, the way they go about their business, from the winter on, I've just seen Chim grow. And it's easy to look at the numbers, right? Whether it's his strength or his weight. But I just think in general that has put a fire in his belly and increased his expectations of everything he's done. And I'm looking for another phenomenal year.
All right, more to get to. A pretty good running back here, pretty good running back tandem. And we got to talk defense. So much emphasis on the offense. They play defense here, too. We'll check in about that as we continue with the Badgers Sports Report.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. We believe in financial security for Wisconsin public school employees and their families. WEA member benefits, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. WEAbenefits.com.
My favorite breakfast is Odyssey yogurt. I asked Mommy where it comes from, and she took me to a dairy farm to learn all about milk and, most importantly, cows. Wisconsin cows are definitely the happiest, which means they make the tastiest yogurt. My favorite is blueberry. What's your flavor? Support your local farmers. EIEI Odyssey.
I had big dreams. Then I got sick. UW Health made it their mission to give me a fresh start and a new kidney. Now my dreams are infinite. UW Health. Remarkable.
Badger fans are learning about offensive coordinator Phil Longo, his connection with the air raid. Yes, it will look different, but Braylon Allen is back for year 3. We talked about Luke, Chimray being the guy in the receivers room. Braylon Allen for sure in the running back room, maybe the entire team, about how he handles his business. And I'm imagining you're still going to run the ball a little bit here this year.
Well, we better. No, and he's done a great job at recognizing a little bit of the evolution of what it is that we do. And I think he's anxious. I think he's really anxious to get to Saturday, to see those things kind of continue to roll and see how it really feels and looks to him, because it is different, right? And I don't just mean it's different for him, but I mean the way you prepare, the things that you do from going through camp. I'm sure he's still sore, and that whole group is sore, but maybe sore in a little bit of a different way, because, I think for us moving forward, we had to do some things in camp and to figure out what we can do. Maybe we didn't pound it and run it as much during the camp, but as we get to Saturday, as we get into the season, we know what we're going to have to do to be successful, and he's a huge part of that.
Yep, with Braylon Chesmalusi, that's a very, very good 1-2 punch, and there's more depth than folks might be led to believe as well, with guys like Jackson Aker and Cade Giacomelli. But I mentioned as a tease that the offense is getting a ton of attention, and it's understandable, but this defense has a chance to be pretty good, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah. I'm good with him focusing a little bit more on the offense, and that's what people want to talk about. And I think that for us, I think it's helped the defense in some ways, right? I mean, I think it's had them kind of create a little bit of that chip. They've always kind of been, I shouldn't say always, but I think in nature of a lot of those things, they have been really good, nationally ranked and things like that. So I think for the first time, they are starting to, have a little bit of a different sense of, okay, now we got to earn everything every single day. And I think there's nothing that makes us better than that. And I think we can be really good defensively. I think we've got some really unique pieces, and there's obviously more differences than people would, notice. Obviously, offensively, everybody talks about the differences. Defense, there's a little bit of a morphing of being able to do what we've done in the past and still continue to grow. But we're in a really good place. I think we've got some really good leadership, which gives us a really good chance.
There are players like Muma Jungmeta, Jordan Turner, Alexander Smith, but a player who's been in the program for a while. But I'm hearing really good things about what he has done here is C.J. Getz. He's put himself in a pretty good spot right now, hasn't he?
Really unique. I said this a couple of times. Every day, he kind of impresses me more and more. And it's hard to say from a 6th-year guy, right? You would think, after practice 4, 5, 6, maybe 10, maybe 12, all of a sudden you'd see, the older guys start to say, okay, when do we get to game week? And each and every day he's continued to impress me in particular. And his football knowledge, his ability to adapt and adjust in whatever he does really well. And sometimes it doesn't look the same, right? Maybe he's not as flashy as maybe some of the outside linebackers we've had here in the past. But I'm not sure that there's a whole lot that are better all-around football players than CJ.
Less than a minute here with the opener. I've always thought at the college level it's really a mystery, and Buffalo's probably got to dig deep with the Badgers, what they scout. They have new coordinators, personnel changes with the portal. Does that just make first games even? I mean, coaches are always nervous game one, maybe more so these days.
It's really tricky in your preparation, too. It's how much do we spend on making sure we know who we are and what we're doing, as opposed to game planning what it is that we're going to get. This here is really more unique than any, with all of us being new and then going into this with a completely new, kind of offense coming in for them as well. And what do they hold over as a defensive head coach? So I think defensively, I feel like probably got a better idea of what they're going to do, even though they've changed because of the defensive head coach. But offensively, there's a lot of mystery. So we're going to have to focus on ourselves a lot.
There you go, and adjusting on the run. That's how it works every week, but especially week one. Stay with us. We have more to come. We'll check in with the quarterback, Tanner Mordecai, as we continue with the Badgers Sports Report.
After a serious accident, you'll need a team to fight for the results you deserve. We're here for you whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
WEA member benefits, dedicated to helping Wisconsin public school employees become financially secure with programs designed for the education community. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, WEAbenefits.com.
To say the least, there is some outstanding talent in the quarterback room for the Wisconsin Badgers this season. We have a chance to visit with one of those talented QBs, none other than Tanner Mordecai, transfer from SMU out of Waco, Texas. Tanner, when you first arrived here, there probably a lot of snow on the ground the first day of spring practices, got hit with a snowstorm, but I would hope and trust that you got to discover Wisconsin and Madison specifically in the summertime. Did you like what you see?
Oh man, I loved it. This summer's been great. Had an opportunity to get out on the golf course, go fishing with some of the guys. It's a great opportunity for us to bond over the summer whenever we don't have as much stuff going on, such as classes or things like that. So yeah, the summer here is unbelievable.
It does seem that you and many, many others on this team, you've really, and in your case, being new here, and this will be your final year in college, but you've embraced the whole experience, it seems like. I see you at various charity functions. That stuff's pretty important for you to be a part of.
No doubt. Just, through the collective, Varsity Club, they do such a great job of, connecting us with the community as well as Badger Give Back. And I think it's important for us to give back to those who support us all fall. I think it's important to connect with the youth, because the youth is the future. And whenever we were kids, we definitely looked up to college football players. So it's unique to give back.
Did you get an idea of the vibe, the excitement that fans? You've had a chance to interact with a number of them at various functions. You getting a pretty good idea how excited fans seem to be about you guys?
Yeah, I think there's a great buzz for Wisconsin football this fall. Just the change of Coach Fickell, and then they're going to see a little bit different offense on the field. So I think it's a positive energy, and I think the community and everyone who supports the Badgers is ready to see what we can do.
All right, tough question here. You mentioned a little golf, a little fishing. We'll go to the golf. I know you're pretty good. If you're putting together an all-star foursome among the Badger football players, who are the other three you would want as part of your foursome on a course?
Marty Stride's the other. I know I've played with him. I know he's really good. I never played with Gavin Lamb, but they said he was good.
Kickers, yeah, a lot of them are good golfers.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna stick with my guy Chim. We played a lot of golf this summer. And, he got way better throughout as long as the summer went on, and we have a great time out there together.
I got you. 'Cause you're being modest, because I have a feeling you would probably outscore most people, right, on a golf course. You played it a little bit, maybe growing up down in Texas too, or no?
I actually started just in COVID.
Okay.
Whenever they sent us home during COVID, I didn't have a whole lot to do, and I picked up golf and haven't really looked back since.
Yeah, you and many others. I think those are one of the few
doubt.
things we were allowed to do during the peak of the pandemic, no doubt. You mentioned the offense. Get into a little football talk here. I mean, give us an idea, Tanner, from your perspective, how this offense has started to evolve from when spring ball started to where you were when you ended it, and maybe some work on your own over the summer, that type of thing. You guys feel like you've come a long way, everybody understanding what it's all about?
Yeah, going back from the meetings that started in late February leading up to spring ball, I think the adjustment that these guys had to go through a little bit more than I had to go through since I've played in this type of offense while I've been in college. The adjustment they had to go through, I thought was pretty smooth. Whenever you go from what they have been running for years at Wisconsin into an air raid that Coach Longo brings, a lot of people might have concerns about that, but if you watched us throughout spring ball, I thought the guys adjusted really well. I thought it was hard to tell that they hadn't ran this offense for as long as they've been in college, which I was very pleased with. And going into the summer, just getting on the same page as my receivers, having throwing sessions, just working on the things that Coach wants us to work on, and try to groove those things out before going into camp.
Are you a goal setter personally? Do you have specific numbers you feel like you need to hit this year, or is it more of a general thing for you?
No, I think I'm focused on what we have set as a team. If we accomplish what we want to accomplish as a team, I think all the individual accolades take care of themselves. For me, receivers, running backs, it doesn't matter. I think if we do what we want to do as a team, I think all the individual success kind of just comes with that.
I mentioned, I don't know if I've seen this much talent in the quarterback room here, at least in a while, if not in my time here. Receivers too. I mean, you got either guys who have been in the program or through the transfer portal, and obviously the running backs with Braylon and Chez, and then Jackson Aker, that whole group. But that receiving core, I would imagine that's pretty enticing for someone in your role, right?
Right. I mean, the guys that have been here didn't have as much of an opportunity to showcase their abilities just because of the scheme that they were in. But going into spring ball, they did a great job, and then the coaches utilized the transfer portal to our advantage, and getting guys like CJ, Will, and Bryson and Quincy and things like that. I mean, that really helps us and provides a lot of depth.
Well, we get a little bit of a glimpse from the outside of what you guys have gone through. It's a little glimpse through social media. If it's the Odyssey, it's the weightlifting, the Squat Fest and all of that stuff. Is it just kind of extra sweet right now to know that you actually will be putting on football uniforms, and it's about getting ready for a season, a game coming up at long last? It's kind of a relief in some ways?
No doubt. We had a great summer. I thought Coach Brady and his staff did a phenomenal job. But of course, leading up to it, we had a few OTAs in July, just kind of get the taste of football back in our mouth. I think that has the guys, chomping at the bit.
All right, looking forward to it. Badgers quarterback Tanner Mordecai. Stay with us. We have more to come as we continue with the Badgers Sports Report.
I had big dreams. Then I got sick. UW Health made it their mission to give me a fresh start and a new kidney. Now my dreams are infinite. UW Health. Remarkable.
These are operating engineers. They operate top-of-the-line innovative machines and build stuff that matters. And operating engineers are well paid. They even get paid to train. As an apprentice, you can make $56,000 a year from day one during training. No school loans and no debt. When your training is complete, you'll have a stable career job that is high skill, high tech, and high pay. We need operating engineers right now. Your future can begin today.
After a serious accident, you'll need a team to fight for the results you deserve. We're here for you whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, treating the Badgers, treating you. and is brought to you by the Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors. BuildingWisconsinTogether.com. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
It'll be the Badgers and the Bulls this Saturday afternoon, 2:30 kick at Camp Randall Stadium. Join us next week as we recap game number 1, and we'll talk a little recruiting with the Badgers head coach as his team gets ready for the long road trip to Washington State. Thanks for watching.
I've always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. Now that's just a footnote in my journey, a small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. At WEA Member Benefits, we believe in helping Wisconsin public school employees and their families achieve their financial goals by providing personal insurance, retirement and investment, and financial planning programs that are designed specifically for the education community. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, WEAbenefits.com.
My favorite breakfast is Odyssey yogurt. I asked Mommy where it comes from, and she took me to a dairy farm to learn all about milk and, most importantly, cows. Wisconsin cows are definitely the happiest, which means they make the tastiest yogurt. My favorite is blueberry. What's your flavor? Support your local farmers. EIEI Odyssey.